Like the whole team, man.
Some people call it dollar cost averaging. you dollar cost until you die.
I went in, it says I went in, they hit 5, then we're like, fuck, you went in there, they hit 3 and 4. Oh, what?
There's no roadmap. HIVE has no roadmap.
I won't say the whole community, but a majority of the community are basically rage quitting on Steam.
Oh.
Okay, guys, so we are all changing our background. So this is our day 2 of our so-called lockdown. Apparently, it's a nationwide thing. So this little conference call or con call is just to check out how is everyone and how are things at your end and a bit of about crypto lah, right? Not much introduction needed for everyone, I guess. Daniel from Kota Kinabalu, Johnson is from wherever he is, Curry from Penang, Aaron from JB, Little New Things is somewhere in Kepung, is it? No,
I'm in Damansara.
Yeah, Damansara. Joanne is somewhere in Ara Damansara. Oh no, not Ara lah. What? I don't even know what. Okay. So so
I fed up. I can't change my background.
So one of the first thing I want to ask is actually to Curry lah. Curry, you know, I even though with the lockdown why is Line Clear still giving food promotion lah?
Oh, don't talk about Penang lah, right? Like the first day morning, bunch of Penang night, they go to Kopitiam, they were chilling at the Kopitiam and there, right? They're like, no, they don't give a fuck kind of thing, right? Do you know that even factory are opening? I was like, what the fuck, right? So all delivery, food business kind of stuff. I tell you, Penang, it's going to matter time, going to have like whole island lockdown. I tell you, terrible. Let me tell you, very terrible. Right, people, they just act like nothing happened. They just go out, they just chill like nothing happened.
So did you go out and actually did you check things out?
Huh? No lah, I like, come on. Hey, I'm not that crazy.
Have to ask lah, you know.
I was straight locked down. The whole family, everyone is in the house. No go out, nothing at all. Right, everyone's in the house. I think. What
about you, Daniel in KK? I mean, how things in KK? Besides you playing Jin Rummy all day long.
I still cannot change my background. What the fuck? Okay lah, never forget it. I also want I also want God lah. Go chill lah. You're out of the world already. What the hell? Okay. What's the question?
So how are things in KK? I mean the situation in KK for this lockdown and all that.
Well, tourism like shit lah. Forget it. Tourism like shit. The biggest concern right now is that I mean in Sabah it's all manageable since Sabah leaders are not called to Putrajaya for the meeting.
Yeah, man, that's so biased, right?
Penang also same thing.
So we are on our own. Technically, we are on our own lah. So far the state leadership is pretty solid, and then so far it's okay lah. So far it's all under control. Of course, you got few people who's dumb enough to do some hangouts here and there, but I think the police don't have to do anything because the society is giving them a slap every now and then.
Yeah.
So
it's literally self-governance or what?
Self-governance, like some people going around giving people a slap, marah-marah people, you know, not even the police. So we saw that in some WhatsApp, shared WhatsApp, kan? So I think we'll sort it out. I think people come to realization in the next 3-4 days more, and then everybody holy shit, right? But the biggest concern right now is that the biggest question is how long?
Yeah.
How long can any of us sustain? How much do you have to sustain? can you sustain for the next 1 month, 2 months, 6 months? If it's continue on a lockdown, do you have enough money to buy your supplies? Then the next question is, after everything is okay, because Singapore said the estimation is around 1 year, only then everything is a bit stable. After 1 year, where do you want to find money to start all over again? Because by then a lot of people is out of work.
Yeah, this is an interesting thing because I mean there was an article that came out. If this thing prolongs to May, literally by May, most of the airlines will be totally bankrupt. So I don't think it's only the airlines, but you can also look at all transportation. I mean most industries are all affected.
I mean the big boys, they still hide their money somewhere. They will declare bankrupt first.
Yes.
But the small boys, these are the people who's gonna get it hard. People who don't have enough. You know, I was queuing up in the supermarket the day before the announcement. I said, okay, buy. But I buy whatever I need first. But you know what's the saddest part? The saddest part is when I saw a family was just calculating how much money they got and calculator just how many goods they can bring all together. It fucking breaks my heart because I want to help, but how, you know, you also kapai, you know, you also trying to help yourself. So how, and then I got this guy, I got a friend of mine who called me up yesterday. He said, brother, I don't know if I can sustain for the next 2 months because I have dues on my rental. Can I come to your house and open up a camp and bring my family there and live in the camp temporarily? That makes me think, bro.
It's quite scary.
Because people are desperate. People are scary because people. It's all not about the disease, the COVID. It's about money, bro.
That's true. Yeah.
If you don't have anything in the city, you're fucked. Is this a children's program, guy?
It's okay. That's why it's at 9 p.m.
Anything that
I was in a field group and actually
pretty much after 21 years old, so it's okay.
Okay.
So taking all the way down south, Aaron. So I mean, how's the thing like in Johor?
It's been pretty drastic, yeah, because they closed the border, and when of course Muhyiddin, our Prime Minister, made an announcement. Like, I don't think he was clear enough, but there was a lot of people like just deciding, you know, what does he mean by that? You know, visitors cannot leave. Then there was a rumor going on that, if you have a work permit, you can actually leave. It's actually okay. So yeah, some people were like, you know, believe that, but some people were like, you know, they totally did not trust the government. So, you know, before the announcement, it's like, there's going to be a special announcement. And everyone was like going out, it's like 7 p.m. already. It's like, no, it's going to be bad.
My brother actually works in Singapore, and he commutes from JB to Singapore every day. I mean, one of the good things was I called him up earlier, and he actually said that the company in Singapore is hosting all of the stuff that is required to work, so they are taking care of all the accommodation and everything. That is from Singapore.
Wow.
Singapore.
We're lucky because not everyone has that. I mean, you saw the news report, right, that people were sleeping at MRT station on the floor.
Exactly.
It's crazy, man. I mean, like, we're like refugees or something, you know. I think it wasn't very well planned, and they actually shut the border, like physically shut the causeway, right?
Yep, they used that metal gate thing to close off the border or something, right?
It's crazy, right? Because you know, when Singapore decided to restrict people, they specifically made sure that Malaysians can still actually get in and out, right?
Exactly.
So and it was like not Singapore's fault, right? They're actually trying to help both of us. And then suddenly this government go and announce such a drastic measure. And you end up with a situation where the Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong had to call Muhyiddin to ask him like, "Hey, bro, are the trucks still coming in?" Because stuff like that, you know. So it's so crazy what's going on. But right now I can feel like, you know, I haven't been out today. I've been playing video games. I've been making friends. You know, I've got nothing else to do. But I can feel like it's so quiet. Even my phone start to realize like how many people actually works in Singapore here. Like the whole JB is empty, man. It's like wow. But that's what it's like here. It's pretty drastic, and I have some concern on the illegal immigrants. You know, I'm really concerned about that because there's a million of them, and they're doing documentation, and they don't want to get treated because they're afraid the police, is out there to catch them. That's what I'm really concerned about. In terms of like the economy, I'm not sure you guys have received by WhatsApp, but I've received some message that you can actually delay some payments at some banks. So I think that's a really good,
The deferment.
yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good thing. But other than that, yeah, I mean, it's like, what I'm concerned about.
That's true. What about you, Johnson? You guys still going to the office?
No, we've been starting working remotely since Monday. So because our work culture is already have work from home culture in our office. So it's not changing much. The compare just that you can't have like can't meet your colleagues, you can't see them from day to day. But we're already used to the culture of working from home.
So you guys just moved office, right? I mean, you guys just...
Yeah. I went to the new office. So the new office is done, but we can't go there yet. We just went there to move things for the first round. That was on Friday before I think it's just last Friday, yeah. After that, we fully working remotely since Monday, before the announcement.
Oh, okay.
Because it was very drastic, like a lot of cases suddenly pop up, so raises a lot of people's concerns. So it's better to work from home.
That's true. That's true, So Joanne, yourself, I mean, how has life been treating you?
Same thing, right? Not much different, right? Retired young, retired rich, right? I just want to say that.
I don't even...
Actually, not much different. Just that cannot go out, you cannot go bowling, cannot go swimming, cannot go gym. The management decided to close all the place.
Yeah, I mean, same with me also. I mean, all services, even the basketball court is a no-go.
Also closed, yeah, same. Around here also same. And then all I hear is the ambulance. Today, like there are 2 ambulances in and out. And then very quiet. And I think the cat get annoying that we are at home all the time. They never see us 24/7. like all of the people at home. So yeah, the cat get a bit anxious, like a bit stressed.
Hello.
Hi again.
Well, I mean, okay, so I mean, the thing is that we are all stuck at home and all that. But I mean, if you look at it, talking about crypto now, it seems that crypto seems, I mean, it did take a really horrible dive toward the end of last week, and
don't talk about that, Ayo.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought it was there, not there, no. So I buy something deep, then buy that okay, deep to the deep. All right, fuck, man.
So Kari, buy through all the dip from the deep to the deeper deep.
no, some people call it dollar cost averaging. you dollar cost until you die.
I went in. It's 6. I went in. They hit 5. They were like, fuck. You went in there. They hit 3 and 4. I was like, what? Wow. Oh, you're there. I don't want to play with it. Whack it. Like,
hey, perhaps Aaron, do you want to give a bit of insight as to what actually caused the entire dip? I mean, in your point of view.
Yeah.
Well, some good news. Price is going up.
Yes.
Oh yeah, 558 now.
Yeah, 5.8. I think it's rather fair. I mean, like, I can only like notice what the big guys are doing, right? So we have all these WhatsApp group, and some of the WhatsApp group have really big guys with a lot of coins, and I noticed that as the price was dropping, like people were buying, right? And I think there were most of them, even the big exchange boss, right? They were buying when it was dipping to like 5.5, 5K, So don't worry if you be buying at like, I don't know, maybe 6K even. because it's quite close to what these big guys are buying at. But I've heard a theory, I'm not sure how true it is, but it does make sense, that this price drop was actually a dump by big miners, major miners in the space. And the reason why they wanted to do that is because they wanted to get all the smaller miners. And if you look at the cost of producing a Bitcoin, if you have an S9, it's 7,500 per Bitcoin. So obviously, if it's 7,000, right, it's still marginal. You might just keep your machine on. But if the price goes down to 4K or 5K, right, you're definitely going to shut your machine off. So that's my theory. And if you look at the newer model, S17. So S17, the cost is about 3,500. It's much more efficient. So what they're saying is that they're trying to get the smaller miners out of the game, so that by the time the halving comes, their cost will actually double, of course. So that will double to about 7,000. So if you're buying anything below 5,000, below 7,000, I would consider it safe now. If you're buying at 5K even now, I think it's a discount. But of course now you got to be able to hold for between 3 to 6 months now, because we don't know when the price will actually catch up. But eventually it will. It's basic economics.
I mean that is a very good. I mean that's the first time I'm hearing about the miners and all that, because all this while people were just talking and pointing fingers at Arthur Hayes, who was the owner of BitMax, saying that the derivatives are the ones that actually caused the entire crash all the way down to 3.5. I know 3.8K. I think it's at its lowest, right? So again, these are all speculations. But where do you think from here? I mean, do you think that it has hope to actually go up now? You can see that the price is already at 5.8K. Do you think it will shoot it up?
You can see, I don't know, was it a couple of days ago? Like someone tried to dump the price, right? And it was quite bad because I think quite a number of people actually tried to, there was this little dump, right, from 5.9 to 4.4K a couple of days ago. So I think, it was like 3 days ago, right?
Yep.
So, and at that point, everyone was saying it's going to go for 3K, it's going to drop to 1K and all that. And it didn't, right? So I think most of the weekends already sold. And the market is they're really holders, and they're really doing dollar cost averaging. More than that, actually what I think happened is a bit next time, something very bad happened. When the price drops drastically, $2 billion, man.
I know. I was looking at it. I was quite shocked at how much it was just liquidating.
It actually takes time for people to move money back into the market, because the other thing that I saw happening was, of course the price dropped, right? And of course I'm a long-term bullish now. So I tried to buy it from the OTC market. So I started calling people. They were saying the time ringgit was 4.15 maybe. So I was trying to buy USDT on the OTC market, and the guy quoted me.
Wait, let me finish my
4.1?
4.67. So the other problem is Bitcoin, right? So let's say it was, I think it was 4K plus. When I tried to buy in, it was about 5,500, so it cost me 10% more just to buy on the OTC market here, because all this money was flooding in. People actually wanted to buy. So when you look at the market, you can look at the derivative market, the margin trading. You can look at the exchange, but you also have to look at the OTC market as well. So from the OTC market, I'm just quite assured now, this thing will be a temporary thing, and there's people moving in money. And in other markets, I have a friend in Iran actually. The Bitcoin premium there is 20%.
Wow.
So the main takeaway we should take away from this is actually, Bitcoin, right? Some people say
let's say 2K500.
That's one argument.
1,500X and 2,500X.
The value of Bitcoin is actually comes in when the country monetary money collapse, right? We have hyperinflation. Then you see a premium in Bitcoin in those countries. So I think Bitcoin really has a role to play, but unfortunately, I think probably not going to be like immediately now, but maybe down the line. So if let's say this world economic crisis, right, gets worse, right, it's not only a recession, it's a depression. And during this depression, already like, Iran is asking for IMF help. And let's say it gets worse, right? Let's say there's a handful of countries, right?
Okay.
Now, that's when you're going to see Bitcoin and all this crypto.
That's true. Well, talking about Bitcoin and crypto and all that, the next news that have been circulating is, of course, about Steam. Of course, it's going to be shared with Steam community, right?
I missed the. You want to say? Can you say about this thing?
Why you miss everything, one? Too much char kway teow, whatever is it?
Wrong time at the wrong place.
Hey, you were at home. What on earth were you doing?
Bitcoin and others was on quite high, like I think like 2 weeks ago, like 9.5 kind of thing. So I start to clear off at least 50% of it. No, then after that I was like not bad lah. Then it start to like slowly go down like 8, like near
7.
like 7 something. So I start to whack lah, lah. Mana tahu then it went more down. I got so much loaded cash. Yeah. Then some more my kids start to be my kids one transformer some more. Then one Star Wars Lego some more. Stock, people stock toilet paper, I stock all these things. Okay, now Steam, talk about Steam.
Well, let's consider commodity also lah. Who knows? Maybe that one going to increase in price. Well, so Steam, as some of you may know or may not know, I think most of you have known already that Steam is going to fork at tomorrow, or is it Friday, 10 a.m. EST will be a snapshot, and then after the snapshot, the new Steam, we call it HIVE, is going to be launched. So it is. It's a community-based, again, it's a launch by the community itself. So there's no company behind it. Unlike Steam, when it was launched, the main developers was Steam Inc. But we know all the fiasco that Justin bought over Steam. And then after that, he tried to do a hostile takeover, as some people call it. And the community was not happy. So they decided to go for a fork. The main reason of the fork is because Justin has consistently been inconsistent with what he said. He will talk in a discussion saying that he will do this, do that, do this, do that. Few minutes later, after the conference call, he puts down, "I've been hacked by hackers," and those kind of nonsense lah. So community got fed up already, and literally the fork. I mean, that is what is going to happen. So it's going to be called HIVE. So the website that you go to will be hive.blog. What they're going to do is that whatever that is currently on Steam, they're going to just copy, including the entire blockchain, and then they will just start a new chain itself. So all the contents that is currently there will also be on the new chain. So literally, the logins are the same. But the key here is that not only the community is all agreeing to go over, but most importantly is all the dApps that has built on the Steam blockchain will be moving over also. So literally what is left with steemit.com is just steemit.com, and no other dApps will be actually functional. Perhaps one or two may be staying over, but the rest will be hopping over because there were talks also, why don't get it available for both chains on Steam and also on HIVE, right? So what happens is that the problem is that why the dApps cannot be on both chains is because they are unable to sustain themselves, because it's a cost. It's a cost itself to run a full node and all that. So that's the thing. Now, the snapshot that will be happening on the 10th at 10 a.m. on Friday. Literally, if you have any Steam or liquid Steam or stake Steam or whatever Steam, on the Steem blockchain itself will be replicated on Hive as well. And also a snapshot of the exchanges will be done. So meaning to say, if you have Steem in Binance, for example, so those participating exchanges. So from what I know, Binance is one of them. There was one more called Ion Tommy, IO Tommy or something. It's a smaller exchange. They have said that they are supporting the community in this, and they will be, supporting the Steem pairing for the exchange as well. So if you have your Steem down there, and also, that will be replicated. You will be receiving the Hive tokens for that. Now the question is that because that was announced, what's happening that you can see a lot of people transferring Steem out from the so-called Ninja Mind Stake going out to Binance. And also you see that the Steem price is actually soaring up. Is perhaps a lot of people are just buying to get some amount, and then when the snapshot happens, they will literally dump. I mean, that is speculated again, right? I mean, what do you think about that? Daniel or something? Daniel is still trying to figure out his screen, is it?
This is like a super slap to Justin, bro.
Yeah.
Huh? A super slap to Justin. A guy with a lot of money trying to tell the community, here I am, going to show you the way. And then some of them are not happy. And then I say, okay, I'll buy everybody out and take over all the nodes. And then and I'm going to still show you the way. And then the community decides, fuck you, I'm leaving.
Yes.
I mean, it really ruins Justin's reputation. And I'm also wondering, what if we hold on to his plan with so much money? What would be the value that he can bring in? Because Steem alone, depending on its community, has remained pretty much static for quite some time.
That's true.
So just moving on to something else, what is the bigger game changer? I'm just wondering, what is the big change other than, it's like what you call it, a Hive blockchain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what is so extra about it, and what's the biggest game changer? Just because Binance has been supporting here and there anyway. I mean, there's so many other exchanges. So I mean, so what?
Right. I think
how would this add value to each Steem users?
I think one of the things that they are actually pushing on is that literally finally want to launch SMT. That was the thing that they're actually banging on. And of course, because when the community leaves Steem blockchain or hops over to Hive, you have a lot of experienced developers. I was checking out the Twitter feed and all that. One of the original developers of the Steem blockchain also says that, I'm in support and I want to join in the development team for the new Hive blockchain. So I guess it is literally sparking back life into the old developers or more developers to actually come onto the Hive blockchain, because knowing that it's governed by the community itself. Perhaps that is one of the thing. Again, the question is still there. I mean, what is so exciting? That is something yet to be seen. Again, you hear a lot of promises, a lot of people saying that, oh, we're going to finally launch SMT. SMT is already ready. SMT is already being tested, and it's time to launch. But again, from what I'm hearing and seeing is that it's mostly just people just blogging and talking about it. Until we see some action, then perhaps that will bring more value.
Because Justin did say that he wants to work on SMT, the new team, the new partnership between Justin team and the past team, right, of Steem Inc. They wanted to work on SMT. They want to work on so many other things. I mean, I understand the passion behind it. I understand being romanticized about about decentralized, about the original community, the original developer working on something. But like so many other development, right? It's a question of dollar and cent, bro. Bukankah? I mean, it's really
Not
dollar
really
and
lah.
cent at the end of the day.
I mean, in terms of pushing more development and all that, that of course comes down to dollar and cents lah. For any developers that want to do something, of course they need to have some money to buy equipment, servers, and all that, right? So that's definitely how it is lah. But at this point of time, it's literally a divide in the community, as how I look at it lah. So Joanne, what do you think about this whole thing that's happening?
To me, I think we just have to actions still speak louder than anything, because there are so many uncertainty. Because there are two groups. So there are WeChat and there are Telegram. So both are saying different things, and one thing lead to another thing, which is at the end of the day, it's business. Justin take over. He want to make money. He's a businessman, like it or not. He is a China man. So he buys Steam. Of course, he want to make money out of it. So what leads to we being here is, I think a lot of things contribute to it, and then to HIVE blockchain. I would say I'll wait and see what happens, because right now, really we just know a little bit here and there, and really don't know what's happening behind us. So.
Jessica, what do you think about it? Because I know that you've been also in the chat groups with Justin and some of the China developers. Or was it you or was it Johnson?
No, it was Johnson, but I'm in the Chinese team. There was some time ago that I actually was there, but I was never active there. So the thing is, the biggest question was when Joy was showing me all the screen captures of another group. Justin was saying something to the witnesses on one thing, and then he's talking to the communities on another thing. So he's like, literally, he is a salesman, businessman, definitely. And he is a salesman, very good salesman. He has pretty much convinced the communities that he's going to be there for them and everything. Then he goes back to the Chinese community and shows a very different, volatile character that, it reminds me of someone that I knew once. It's like she's very nice to you in front, and then behind closed door, and then you totally turn monster. So for me, it's like I can't really trust him I can't really trust a businessman when you are saying something, and like what Joanne has said, action speaks louder. So it's like when you're doing something and then you are doing another, this really contradicts. You have very high hopes for Steam actually, because if Justin really can put it out, I think it is going to be really good. But if Justin can't really put it out, then let's see how HIVE is going to be, because HIVE has a lot of potential and a lot of DApps is already there. So see, the main key, if I'm looking at HIVE, I think it's more of the governance wise, you gotta be very, very fair with everyone and not really big money players anymore. Everybody should have a voice. For Steam side, if Justin can really, really pull this out and really market it really, really well, and even it ports into the Tron blockchain, Steam will still have a future in that way, because it's usability. I remember Joanne once told me it's like user interface has to be really good, and then usability has to be there.
So
pretty much there's a lot of people to support him .
So Aaron Ting, well, what I mean from your standpoint in terms of let's look at an investment kind of standpoint. for Steam and Hive? I mean, what do you think? Is there a future in it? Do you think that the price will is there a value in it?
Well, I think in terms of like what we shared earlier on, right? I really think Steam will survive in a way, but Justin is just a really good businessman and model to entice people. But like every major like crypto projects, right? It's something that is Steam as well. So it normally comes with like projects like Tron. You know that it comes with like market makers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they have a whole network of people who's behind, manipulating things. So I would think they'll probably go in the way of like Bitcoin Cash, where I don't know, somehow, some way, they'll be able to attract people to put content and all. In a way, they will survive. But I think when the community leaves Steam, it's a double blow actually. It's not only the community leaving, but the developers, right? And for the developers, it's very difficult to find, highly skilled full stack blockchain developers. And the Steemit blockchain, from what I understand, is quite complex as well. So, how is he going to find like the people to carry on the work and possibly do even better than Hive? I don't really see that happening. But in terms of survival, I think they would, somewhat survive. But another point that I want to share is I think moving away from this Steam model is really good for the community as a whole, because what we've seen is that we actually saw projects that have a hybrid model between, let's say, purely community-based, like let's say Bitcoin. Okay, so they don't take anything from the community. They don't take like the founder's reward as such, versus like a project like even Zcash. So Zcash, of course, they follow like a mining model, but they actually take like 20% like the and the issue is the 20% reward is taken by a company, right? So it's a zero electric company or whatever. So this kind of like hybrid setup, someone mentioned to me that it's a little bit like a conflict of interest. Why is that a conflict of interest? Because the moment you have a company, by law, you are supposed to work for the benefit of your shareholders, not for the community.
That's true.
Not for the community. So I think it's really good that you guys get rid of that quite a toxic portion. It's an arrangement that does not make sense for a lot of projects, and not a purely community-based project. I think that's beautiful. In fact, someone also said that the hybrid model doesn't work. There's a conflict of interest. So it's either or. Either you be a pure community-based project, or you can become like a for-profit company, right? I mean, but anything in the middle is a bit difficult to justify.
So Johnson, coming from a developer standpoint, coming from a developer standpoint, and you've developed things on top of Steam also. Do you think that Hive will have enough developers to push through to the next vision or the next new amazing thing of where it's supposed to be?
First, there's no roadmap. Hive has no roadmap. They just want to remove the funds. So I doubt. I don't know. I mean, they literally all everything. They don't even have a white paper or anything they want to do. They just say we just want to remove the funds of Justin Sun. That's all. Like, I mean, yeah, it's cool that you guys do that. But what's your aim? Are you guys gonna make it compatible to the other dApps that can use you guys easily or something like that? I don't know. They didn't state anything. I mean, that's just my take. Because it's everything just happens so fast. Like within 3 days, an exchange need to react. I don't think they give out all the notice to the exchanges like very early. Maybe they give like maybe a bit early. I don't know what they did lah. But my take is that everything is moving so fast. You can't even react. Is it really happening tomorrow? 10 o'clock. Yeah. It's.
You know, what I correlate of what is happening on Steam is exactly like what's happening in Malaysia. When we had that backdoor thing, on Steam also was backdoor in Malaysia, and when this announcement came down, it's the same thing. So it's quite a blow on the blow on the blow lah.
Totally
This is
deja
double
vu.
backdoor.
I
This
know.
is totally deja vu.
Tell me about it. It's like, and we are feeling the blunt of it. Christian, thanks for joining us. I would love to hear your views.
Hello.
I would love to hear your views as to whether you think that HIVE was a good idea or is it going to be a good idea, and I mean your take on things.
So I think it's very interesting what's happening to HIVE. Basically, we're seeing, I won't say the whole community, but a majority of the community basically rage quitting on Steam and say, F this, I'm out. So they go and build their own stuff. And I would understand why they don't have much of a roadmap, because I have a feeling they did things quite emotionally, right? It's like driven by emotions rather than clearly thought out what they're gonna do. That's why we don't see any roadmap or whatever. But I do believe that the hype train will go far. At least that's what they aim to do. So as they said, after the launch, they will take in suggestions and feedback from the community, and we will see like a real sort of decentralized and autonomous kind of self-governance. So it's quite interesting what's gonna happen, and I'll be along for the ride, at least on the sidelines, to see how things go, because it's very interesting, not just in the sense of Steam, like in the whole crypto itself, like what will happen, what is happening. Excuse me. So basically, we're seeing what may potentially happen to other governance model as well, as they move forward to more decentralization. How would the community react when a certain party basically exerts their own will over a whole blockchain, and how it is possible for the rest of the members to, if they can't get rid of that person, they get rid of themselves initially. So yeah, it's quite interesting.
This is the literally first crypto project that actually has done a blockchain project that has actually done such thing.
Yes, it's the first project that was hostilely taken over in a sense, and it's also the first project to experience a civil attack, a governance attack, and moving forward, if HIVE launch, it will be the first project that basically build their own blockchain. Although we do see other coins, they do their own token swap to their own chain or whatever. But this is the first time we see, basically they say they'll take a snapshot, but then afterwards they will build it on their own. Yeah.
Okay, it's very interesting. Okay, so it is, well, almost an hour already we've been talking. Last words for the lockdown or for this crypto thing. Let's start, Daniel.
Me again.
Of course lah.
Well,
say something.
You were saying that there was a civil attack, a civil Christian just now, kan?
Civil.
Yeah, it is in a way. It's really like you're right. It's really a reflection of what's happening in Malaysia. The one is no doubt. It's a backdoor attack here and there, right?
That's true.
But I think at the end of the day, when it comes to project like this, I was assuming let's look at a scenario, right? Let's say HIVE move as it is currently without a game plan or without a blueprint, right? And a blueprint that does not have any a new governance that does not have any mandate by the people technically, correct? And they don't have, and the difference is we don't know how much money they have to burn, and just inside they would have sufficient money to burn, and they would have also developers, techies guy to also start developing what they need to do. It becomes that competition, which for us as a user is good. You see competition, But when it comes to the money wise, right, the monetary gain and the user alone, if you see a lot of money coming in from Steam being rewarded, a lot of people will just move towards the direction, the old Steam. A lot of people. The question is then how, it's not how talented the Hive developer is. How long can they sustain themselves?
Exactly.
Because we've seen the same when for the past 2 years, there was no traction. It was technically fucked up. Let's not sugarcoat the whole thing. It is what it is. What
It is. That's true.
right?
A lot of promises have been
Let's
broken.
not be romantic. Let's not be romantic about the idea of being on a what platform like, decentralized platform. But the idea of there's a flaw, I cannot pinpoint. There's a flaw in the design. I kept saying to Simon in the past, even during that guitar hero guy. Who was the guy again?
Ned Scott.
The guitar guy, Ned. Right? And I keep on saying in the past, what Steam need is a real visionary leader. I mean, regardless of the idea of the you need certain direction, they're going to push through a certain community to drive, because the competition is not between Steam or Hive. The competition is between so many other currency, other crypto out there. So if there is none of that vision, none of that capital being put in, it's like running a business at the end of the day. That's how I look at it. I mean, I don't want to go on the romantic side of it, but to me, it's really about running a business. And I got business partner in Shanghai who is to so many is eccentric. It's just gila. Suddenly he said, but his mind is like bloody genius. He can just move mountain. And sometimes you need this kind of people to just bloody drive it, And I would like to see, and for me, when I look at Justin, show me the money lah, right? Show me your traction lah. Like I'm just a user. Screw you. If you give me so much reward, there's a reason why I want to build more of the community, because I have a personal gain as well.
That's true.
Right? Because I'm putting in my money there. If Hive is not moving, I say screw you. I don't care about your romantic story. I don't care about it.
I argue in the end, it's all about what the end users, right? The mass adoption. If you're talking about mass adoption, right, you have to understand like what the mass they actually need, and what they want is basically to make money, right? Like that's the reason all of us are here, right? To make money. So idealism aside, they do have to be realistic and be practical as to how to make sure the blockchain continues to run, right? Because
I guess
Hive need. You know what Hive need? In order to sustain themselves? No. They need Najib. A lot of money. He got a lot of money.
No.
Malaysia has all the experience.
They need Jolo.
Jolo, correct.
Jolo.
You need Penang Nai, right?
Okay, so Kari, any last words before we close off?
I was trying to echo what Daniels and Christine say just now. Okay, if you look at like Ethereum, I think was different, right? Yes, in terms of making money, yes, but you see, Ethereums are moving towards on the fintech side, which it helps people to gain some financial or money kind of thing. And the applications was very direct, very useful, right? It should be inside the smart contract. Now, because Simon introduced me about DeFi, so I do a lot reading a bit on DeFi kind of stuff. In general, it solves pain point, right? It solves this problem kind of thing. And this is what I thought what for Hive need to do is that look into like what is the pain point that you want to solve, and what is the values that Hive is giving out kind of thing. Then it will grow in a mass kind of thing. I mean, let's look at Ethereum also same thing, right? It went very slow, hit a lot of issue, all kind of stuff, but you see, they are still very strong, right? With the new kind of stuff. Look at Vitalik was asking around to speak here, speak there, do a lot of work collaborations, foundations, academy kind of things. Because I think I even talked to a lot of developers, came in and say, let's build on Ethereum first, right? Because I think it's better compared to a lot of others, right? It's a little bit more strong, kind of things. The community is there, right? Then I expected a lot of updates from Vitalik. This guy is crazy, and it's very much focused building the tech itself and solving this problem.
I mean that's true lah. But I mean you have to give it to Ethereum and the community behind it. But they did take quite a while to get to where they are right now. I mean their mainnet was launched in about 2014, and I mean it took about 6 years. Well, I mean literally about 5 to 6 years to actually establish it quite well. So in that sense, I think Steam is still quite new or still in its infant stage, and perhaps especially Hive, if Hive does launch, or when Hive does launch, is still in its infant stage. But I guess we can talk more about this in our next video.
Yes.
Don't know when it's going to be, but it's going to be soon, because we have nothing better to do.
Nothing to do.
Hey guys, I really appreciate for all of you guys to hop in on this such a last minute thing to decide to go and get it done. The next one, I will make sure and try to get this thing up on.
We are free.
Yeah, man. I will try to get this on FB Live straight away and see how we can do. All right, guys. Really, thanks so much for coming in. Till I chat with you guys again.
Bye.
Cheers, guys.
I'll see you guys around. Bye.
Bye.